Welcome to another edition of the Gridiron Report. I'm Jarret Johnson, and this is a special edition of the Gridiron Report. It's my main takeaways from Texas Tech head coach Matt Wells' weekly game week presser. He had his press conference Monday morning previewing the Red Raiders matchup with Oklahoma State, which is set now. They were a 6-day selection, meaning basically the TV networks wanted to see if Oklahoma State beat Oklahoma or not. Needless to say, they did not. They got smoked by their rivals in the Bedlam series. And so Texas Tech and Oklahoma State will play at 11 a.m. Saturday in Stillwater. The Red Raiders coming off the bye week after beating Baylor, that comeback victory in the fourth quarter. They beat Baylor 24-23, so they got a little bit of rest. They were able to kind of reevaluate some things, and Coach Matt Wells talked about Oklahoma State. And I asked Coach just what stands out about the Cowboys, and he, of course, he pointed to their defense. The Cowboys, though they didn't really show it against Oklahoma, a lot of teams get blown out by the Sooners year in and year out, and the defense has been good this year. I mean, it has. That's the first thing you have to say about Oklahoma State, and Texas Tech certainly is going to have their hands full. Then you have all the weapons that Oklahoma State's had for a while. You got to look at Spencer Sanders. Obviously he got hurt against Oklahoma. What his availability will be, and then, the backup quarterbacks, what they're going to bring, how different the game might be with them. But Chuba Hubbard, one of the best backs in the Big 12. Tylan Wallace, one of the best receivers in the country. So Tech's going to have their hands full. They're double-digit underdogs again, but they've beaten the Cowboys each of the last 2 years despite being double-digit underdogs. So they know what's in front of them. They know they're going to have their hands full, but I think they're prepared for this matchup. I think it's going to be an interesting game because Tech coming off the bye week, Oklahoma State coming off the emotional loss to their rival. The recipe there is there for an upset. So another thing that stood out from the press conference, not really a whole lot of updates other than Coach Wells confirmed Eli Howard is still day-to-day with the knee injury. McNamara is a guy, obviously you'd like to have him back. He's one of the best punters in the conference, if not the country. But Jonathan Garibay did a really good job. I don't think it's sustainable. I think his leg will wear out. But for this game, or even for the rest of the season, with 2 games left, you got to believe that, especially coming off the bye, that Garibay can pull double duty if McNamara is not able to go. Because obviously he was, special teams player of the week for the conference and the player of the game, Jonathan Garibay. I mean, those 4 field goals, including the walk-off kick, and I think he averaged almost 50 yards a punt in his 5 punts. So, I mean, he was the star of the game for you last time he played. So I think you feel really good, even if McNamara can't go there. But then, Thomas Leggett, your starting safety, you have to see, if he plays, just how effective he is there. And then Adrian Fry, Coach Wells confirmed he's a full go. He was against Baylor. He's not getting as much playing time, which is still kind of a mystery. But he's healthy. So those are the biggest. Coach Wells updated some injuries last week, but those are the biggest updates. Obviously Keyshawn Carter last week. That the news that he's out for the season is huge. That's disappointing, but they have 3 other guys there: Miles Price, Dalton Rigdon, and then McLean Mannix has been a full go too. So you have 3 guys at H at your slot receiver there. You feel good about. Speaking of the win last season, that was probably the win of the season. Was Texas Tech's upset of Oklahoma State in Lubbock. And Coach Wells was asked what were the keys to that and what do they need to do again. He said the fast start was huge to get out to an early lead. He thought both lines really played well, but they also created 5 turnovers. I mean, getting a fast start and creating 5 turnovers, I mean, you take that every game, no matter the opponent. So that's what they're looking to do, is to step up the game in the trenches and get off to that fast start, which we haven't really seen a whole lot this season. We've seen some, obviously, at the Texas game, but then even that game they trailed at halftime. So it'd be nice to see what the Red Raiders can do with a little bit of a lead. I asked Coach about before I even proceed anymore, I gotta say quarterbacks remains the same. Alan Bowman's getting the first snaps, but both quarterbacks, Alan Bowman and Henry Colombi, are going to play against Oklahoma State. So that's something to watch. I did a story on them, and they've been remarkably similar in terms of the statistics they produce. I mean, almost exact same completion percentage, very similar yards per attempt and yards per completion. I think Columbia's touchdown to interception ratio is a little better. That's the only difference, but it's really similar. And the rushing yards you think would be heavily in Columbia's favor, and it's really not, because he's taken a lot more sacks than Bowman has. So I think obviously Columbia brings a little bit of a running element, but those guys are remarkably similar. Like, it's unbelievable. It's uncanny how similar they are. No matter who plays, expect similar results, I guess is the way to say it. Just get to go with whoever's hot. I asked Coach Wells about the freshmen, because that's something that's really, if you take a step back and look in the season, a positive is that, or I guess you could probably spin it negatively, but a lot of true freshmen are playing for Texas Tech right now, and they're playing well, actually, so that's positive. And as Coach Wells said, with the blanket waiver, it's not costing them any eligibility. They didn't have to just play 4 games to redshirt. I mean, everybody all of them are still going to be freshmen next year, so that's great. They're gaining valuable experience, and but they're playing well. And as Coach Will said, it's not just they're playing them to get them experience for the future. They need them to play now and step up and make plays, and they are. So nothing huge or earth-shattering coming from out of this media availability from Coach Wells, this press conference. But obviously big game. They have 2 games left, starting with Oklahoma State and Stillwater, 11 a.m. Saturday. So if they can get one or both of these wins, that would be huge in terms of momentum for the off season. This team has had a rocky season, but if they could, like I said, win, at least split, if not win both of these games, that would be huge for on the recruiting trail, just in terms of momentum for this program. So with that, I want to thank you for watching, and until next time.